I think we're good to go. Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? We have officially made it through prelims. Welcome to round one of the, pardon my French, but LeySauce tournament. We have an exciting matchup today between Moose and our lovely host, LeySauce. I'm joined by my co-commentator, King Curls. King, how you doing today?
Doing very well, Economy. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Very excited to be here, to be watching a race between two legends, and to be commentating it here in the booth with you.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be really exciting to see. Let's see, what kind of PBs are we looking at right now?
That is a good question. LeySauce has a low 57, and I believe Moose has somewhere in the 51 range. Do not have them pulled up specifically, but it is important to note for the chat that LeySauce will be given a 2-minute and 50-second handicap, so he will get a pretty juicy head start over Moose before Moose is able to start the run.
Yep, I want to take a quick second to just break that down for anybody who's confused about that. So everybody get your graphing calculators ready. We got a little bit of math to do. But the way I understand it, for every minute lower the PB, you incur a 40-second handicap, and then the emulator to console ratio docks you another 30 seconds. So with LeySauce being about a slightly bit more than 5 minutes behind Moose, he's got 200 seconds extra to work with, minus the 30 seconds for the platform handicap. So we're looking at a 170-second start difference, which is a 2-minute and 50-second time that Moose is going to be looking for to start off from the starting line.
Just real quick, someone in chat is saying that Moose's PB is a 51.42. I believe LeySauce's is a 57.05 or 6, something like that. So those are the PB differences we are looking at. 57.06.
Yeah, 57.06. Yep. Cool. Then I think with that, I assume that we are pretty much ready to start. I'm guessing that both Moose and Ley are prepared. Once again, Ley will be starting off a tiny bit early. So basically, I guess it's on your count, King.
Yep.
So Moose and Ley, you guys good? Sorry.
Both runners are ready. I will start at 5 and restart your file / start your timers at go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And ladies and gentlemen, we are off with the first race of round 1 of the Saucy 70. Very exciting stuff. Perhaps Moose not getting... It does not appear he has reset.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we might have a tiny bit of delay that we were going to be looking at because we are seeing Ley's feed live and we have Moose's feed, which is Twitch, I'm guessing. So, as soon as we see the timer going, then we'll be we'll be a little bit more content. Oh, I guess he'll probably start his time. Maybe he'll start his timer at 250.
Handicap, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll probably just be looking at LeySauce's timer and then starting on 250 would be my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty reasonable. And definitely that allows us to see if Moose gets a PB, or if he's on PB pace.
Very true.
So that's
race
cool.
PBs are very difficult, very rare to get, but they do happen from time to time regardless of what level you are at. Oh, and LeySauce not off to a great start, already missing lag 2 skip. I would say lag 2 skip does a lot more damage mentally than it does physically, only about an 8-second time loss. Not brutal at his level, but obviously not the start you're looking for in a race format.
Yeah, very much so. There's definitely a big mental difference between hitting a clean skip and a clean clip at the start of a race to get into your Womps 8 or Womps 9 kind of thing, rather than incurring that 8-second loss or 15-second loss or whatever. Depends on which strat you hit or which strat you miss.
For sure. And at Brett's level, I don't think anybody does Island Hop. I'm not even sure if Moose does it. Oh, and LeySauce struggling a little bit with Bomb Clip. Not able to clip through the gate.
Yeah, speaking of that 15-second time loss, he is going to be taking the pole here, it looks like.
Going to be cutting his losses, triggering that cutscene to set the chain chomp free. In a race setting, I cannot say I blame him. A Bomb Clip backup is a bit awkward trying to reset up that camera angle that everybody's used to.
It definitely is, and like the fact that you missed a particular setup that you're used to once, having to go back and then try it again is always really difficult mentally. So a lot of times it's really good to just go take the pole and you know, just hold the L and continue on forward.
Just cut your losses and move forward. LeySauce is no stranger to races in general, but perhaps the nerves of facing someone with the 51-minute PB already getting to him. Hopefully he can shake those nerves off and perform Mom's Fortress on the right foot.
And definitely also going out, being the first race of round 1 can be a bit daunting, for sure.
This is true, and as we know it, Moose's waiting time is over. He'll be starting up his file and getting his run going as well. Meanwhile, LeySauce spending a juicy 12.7, a very good slide time regardless of what level you're at. It is clear he has put the time into perfecting that angle coming to the bottom of the slide.
Yeah, so far Ley's looking pretty good in terms of his Womps 9 castle movement at the very least, so that's definitely a good benefit. He's saving roughly 0.7 seconds over the Womps 8 route, so always good to do that kind of thing in a no reset if you know the movement. Probably not the best thing if you're like if you've never practiced it, but yeah, with that in mind, I believe Ley does do this route anyways in his PB.
This is his normal route, yes. And as far as first star and Womps, it is runner's preference. He does Womps 100. He's choosing for Womps 100 this time. He's usually all over the place. I'm personally a fan of doing Womps 100 first. I believe it is one of the hardest stars in 70. It's very movement-based, very technical, and very easy to lose cycles and just seconds here and there. So I will not argue with this choice of doing Womps 100 first here.
Yeah, that's very true, and it definitely comes down to what strats you do. Like, especially if Ley is not doing, say, like texture or something like that. Once again, I don't remember exactly what strats he goes for.
He has a full setup, I believe.
Okay, so with something like not going for texture, then hundreds is definitely going to be the harder star to deal with.
For sure. And right as we say that, Moose, I believe, Land of Lakitu Skip, doing his best Liam King's impersonation with the pixelated gameplay. Ooh!
Wow.
Island Hop not quite working out. Will he go for it again, or just cut his losses and go for Bomb Clip?
That would have been 100% nuts. It looks like he knows
I've never seen that Island Hop
before. I know, yeah, the triple jump. I've seen it as a backup to missing the wall kick in a para video, Parakuja, but I've never seen it as a raw setup right off the wall kick. Looks like Moose as well, opting for Womps 9, like pretty reasonable movement to the door.
Sorry, Okami, had to mute myself there for a second. I didn't quite catch what you said, but
no, you're all good.
Moving on, and appears LeySauce going for Alice, nailing it first try.
Second try. Sorry.
Okay, missed the first try. Never mind. Tom Page, an idiot. Nothing new.
No, we're good. Yeah, that time loss isn't too awful. I mean, if you hit it first try, you're saving about like 4 or 5 seconds, depending on how clean you're looking. But every time you lose it, it's only 9 seconds, so it's not a massive time loss that you're taking from messing it up.
Not sure if you already mentioned it, but it appears Moose did not opt to try Island Hop again. Will probably be going back for Sky Jump after Wing Cap. Cannot say I blame him in a race format.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, Island Hop only saves like 8 seconds anyways, if you do it properly. So I don't think it's much of an issue to cut your losses and take Sky Jump later on.
I'm curious to know how much time he lost attempting it, though. But like you said, it appeared that he has practiced that backup many a time. He was very familiar and comfortable with it. Oh! Rise to say that he misses Alice. Both runners missing Alice the first attempt. Able to land up the second time, though. Very nice, very clean.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it's a pretty similar time loss for missing that Island Hop versus Ley missing his skip clip in the beginning.
Right. And as always, it is worth noting that Moose is on console, so he will have to deal with lag. We'll be doing lag reduction strats, whereas LeySauce is on emulators, so he will be gradually saving time in that manner throughout the run, which was also factored into the handicap, as Okami previously mentioned. And it appears LeySauce is getting bullied a little bit by the Womp King, not a huge deal. And Moose landing Pro Cycle on Womps 100, I believe.
Yeah, so far looking pretty solid. He's still got the two coin lines at the end to take, whereas the half cycle movement goes for those two coin lines first. But all in all, looking like a pretty good hundreds out of Moose.
Kind of hard to tell with this very pixelated gameplay, not gonna lie. But overall, a very clean Womps 100 for him. He probably cannot ask for much better. Okay, he missed the first line, so probably about a 2-second time loss, but still very impressive to land the pro cycle there. And LeySauce getting the top of the tower star, finishing up the Womps 100, will be making his way to the Peach's Secret Slide for the second star. We do have some Liam K SDs in chat, very, very appropriate.
Yeah, all in all, it's going to be up to LeySauce just continuing to hit his strats, keep his stride going, and keep that lead alive as long as he possibly can. At the end of the day, anything can happen in late stages of the game, like in Tippy or in TTM or even HMC. But the longer he holds that lead, the better his chances are for this match.
For sure, and at any level, Tippy is obviously the hardest part of the game, whether casually or with the speedrun, and Tall Mountain is no joke either. And Chaboom correctly guessing his slide time, you'll love to see it, and Moose grabbing Wild Blue without a problem. And flying around, gathering these red coins in wing cap. Flying is much more difficult than it looks, especially when you're moving around at quicker speeds. But LeySauce making it look like it's nothing. I believe Moose just has the Womp King and top of the tower left in Womp's Fortress, getting that cheeky little fence clip.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see exactly when he leaves Womps, because for the most part, aside from that Owlist miss, he's had a relatively clean Womps. So
for sure,
we can pretty easily calculate how much time he lost from missing that island hop.
It will be hard to judge to see who is in the lead, give or take, since their timers are so much different. Basically,
very true.
Have to judge on star count for now and see who's where, assuming they do the same route, which they will be until we go upstairs, but we will we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And LeySauce entering his way into Dark World. At any level, Dark World is a very, very nerve-wracking stage. It's not at the beginning of the run like it would be in any other category. Most importantly, especially in a race format, you just don't want to die. And it's very easy to do that when trying to collect 8 reds.
Moose looking like he's hitting a 7:10 Womps 9, so...
Very, very solid time there.
Definitely looking like he didn't lose too much time from missing Island Hop, actually. Probably only like 20 seconds or so.
Could have had a sub-7 Womps if that was the case. And I believe LeySauce landed normal cycle reds there, could be wrong. But overall, for his skill level, a very clean Dark World.
Yeah, that's definitely not a Dark World you would ever complain about. It looks really...
Moose bonking a tiny bit on the slide, not a huge deal, just going to lose about a second and a half there. Commentator had to guess. Still landing a 14. That's another one of those mistakes. It really doesn't cost you any time. It's just mentally frustrating to see that happen.
Yeah, very much so. It's definitely mental damage.
Yet again, we have the pixelation coming on his side. We'll be going into wing cap. LeySauce with the Queen Bowser throw. Rapid Dark World will be going back into Bob on Battlefield for Sky Jump. And for those who've never played this game, the triple jump on Sky Jump, the timing on it can be a little tricky. Definitely not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, there's definitely some nuance here to the star. There are definitely like a couple little tiny variations to it as well that you can do, but we'll see how this treats him.
Ooh, getting the cheeky long jump off of the cork box. Cannot say I've seen that before. I don't think that was intentional, but pulling out the swag strats. Oh, having a bit too much speed and diving instead of slope kicking. Again, just another mistake. Won't cost him too much time, but just a bit mentally frustrating, but still able to land Sky Jump just fine. Relatively clean star as Moose makes his way into Dark World.
Yeah, definitely jumping off of the more precarious part of the slope for that that cannon setup, or whatever you want to call it.
The top of the slope does seem to allow less time for that triple jump from what I've, based on my experience.
Yeah, so the way it works is basically the left slope is sloped at such a way that if you land on the left slope, it'll never eat your triple jump. But the right slope
Okay.
will. And so going for the right slope means that you might accidentally, hit that slope instead of the top. So that's how triple jumps end up getting eaten a lot of times in Skyjump.
That makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, it appears Moose landed a cheeky Shig cycle. No one at any level would ever complain about landing Shig. He has a very clean Dark World, and the LeySauce doing the baby strat for wall kicks will work. Making the wall kicks work. So after a few hiccups, it appears that both of these runners are having very clean gameplay. Nothing too major to complain about. Hopefully commentator's curse not coming into effect. Oh, Moose somehow laying that Bowser throw. Did not look like it was online, but he makes it work.
I know. Look at the angle that Bowser is facing. He is not facing that bomb at all.
I did not expect that throw to work, but somehow it did. So it appears we have a 10-28 Dark World exit from Moose. I have no idea what LeySauce's was.
Yeah, I mean a 10-2x is pretty respectable, especially missing Island Hop in the beginning. So I'm sure Moose is pretty content with this run for the most part.
I'm not very familiar with like good split times on 70 star. You're probably a lot more familiar since you have a similar time to Moose.
Yeah, I mean generally speaking, I think right around 10 minutes is a good threshold to think about. So the top runners will be getting consistent like sub 10s. Like the really good ones will be getting like 9 4x's out of Dark World.
And then there's Denner.
Right, who probably gets like an 8-minute Dark World or something ridiculous. No, but yeah. So basically at Moose's level, I think 10-0x is like what he's looking for. So considering that he took that 20-second time loss from missing Island Hop, he's having a pretty clean run.
So in a normal speed run, this would still be a continuable run.
Definitely.
With that being the case, he probably can't complain about his gameplay so far, looking very clean. Both runners here in Cool Mountain. Moose skipping most of the slide, and LeySauce going for CCM 100. This is probably the next biggest Monka W, especially in a race format. If you do not get 100 coins here, it is a massive time loss. Probably, I mean, you would know better than me, but I assume it's at least a minute time loss to have to go through the race again.
It depends on which strat you go for. So there's a few different kind of backups you can do here. We saw a bunch of different things in Ruby Mill, actually.
Oh, commentator's curse coming into effect. LeySauce getting greedy, trying to miss one coin, make the long jump easier, and he misses one too many. What is the backup here?
He can fix this mistake by going with... well, I probably should hold tight for a second before... on the off chance he can hear us.
Oh,
no.
He's going to put up losses and just take the race star. What is going to be his backup here?
Okay, so let's jump into it. There's a bunch of different things. First of all, one thing you can do there is you can face down the slide and then start jump kicking up the slide.
Jump kicking up, yes. I've seen that before.
So that's one way you can do it. The other thing you can do is you can save Little Penguin for later. And so you would... Well, this is a weird case. Yeah, because you would have 99 coins. So you would leave the slide. You would opt out of the Penguin race star. And you would pick up the red coin next to the tree. Oh,
LeySauce not having a backup, doesn't know what he's doing, and takes a death. Sorry, continue.
No worries. Yeah, definitely looking rough. But, yeah, so you would end up getting the 100 coin star outside of the house, which means that you're basically forfeiting the Penguin race star.
Sure.
So from there, you have a couple different options. One thing you can do is you can take the teleporter up, pick up the little penguin, and then grab the little penguin star. That's the typical one that players do when they're used to the backups. If you're not used to the backups, chances are you're probably going to go for just Penguin Race, which is a 54-second star, I think, done optimally. So that's basically the other option for if you're not familiar with the other kinds of things that you can do. Now, the other things you can do is it's a whole can of worms. So you've got...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go for it. I mean, yeah, basically you have double plus, which is, the high level option. That one's
Right.
horrendous, if you're not used to plus. If you do take the shell, that's not even on the table for you. But if you are a mid-level player or something like that, then your main option, well, no, because you have to have 30 stars to get through the star door. So your main other option is going HMC early. So you pick up something like Toxic Maze, and that would make up for MIPS 2 loss.
And I do not believe LeySauce is familiar with HMC early, to my knowledge.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, you have to know how Toxic Maze works in order to get that. So, if you don't have any experience with Toxic Maze, then that's always a bit of a struggle. And then there's the 120 star method, which is something I like to call the Terry method. I actually had to do this myself in a Ruby Mill race, where you basically leave CCM with 17 stars. You go out of SSL with 23 stars, and then you take Lethal Lava Land hundreds. And
okay.
That star is surprisingly quick.
And it's not overly difficult. You're basically just surfing around on a shell across the entire stage. Even if it's not practiced a lot, it's not something that's overly difficult or easy to screw up.
Exactly. Like, worst case scenario, you probably drop like 10 seconds, and that's not as bad as like a death, or even as bad as, say, like doing Penguin Race the second time or something like that.
Yeah. But LeySauce, not being a seasoned race runner, did not have a backup. Clearly did not know what he was doing there, and lost a massive amount of time, and his lead is already diminished, and Moose has taken the lead after the nearly 3-minute handicap.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. It's not the end of the world for Ley either. He can definitely do it.
It is not, for sure, but it is easily one of, if not the biggest mistakes you can make in a race format in 70 star.
It definitely is, yeah. I mean, without having backups practiced, you're probably losing more than 40 seconds and potentially upwards of a minute and a half, depending on how long you struggle to get back on course.
Well, I don't know if you were paying attention. It looked like when he re-entered the stage after the initial mistake, he was trying to do the snowman star, which you cannot do unless you've already collected reds, which is not a star done in 70 star. It looked like that's what he wanted to do, and then he just kind of got lost and did the race again. So he clearly did not have a backup plan there, and he just and jumped diving a little bit too late. He does struggle to grab this MIPS a lot. That is,
it does look like he knows the backup here, though, which is really good. Which is just to
he did not waste time trying to grab MIPS. He will be attempting to grab MIPS after doing Lethal Lava Land.
Yeah, that's definitely very, very smart of him. You really don't lose that much time by doing that. It might be only like an extra 5 seconds or so, as long as he picks up MIPS quickly.
Moose has medium bomb. In my opinion, medium bomb pillarless is a lot harder than large bomb. I'm sure a player at his level.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, not quite getting a ground pound.
Looking decent, though. Wow.
Makes it work. That's a pretty good medium bomb pillarless.
That was really, really good by Moose.
And for those who do not know, grabbing large bomb on pillarless, it is a very perfect trick. In my opinion, the hardest part of pillarless, but he makes medium bomb work first try.
Yeah, pillarless is definitely not an easy trick. It's a good trick for like sub 53 players usually. I don't know if Ley hit that last. Did it hit?
It did not. And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons I learned pillarless, was because I was tired of riding the shell and randomly missing pillars, because I, to this day, do not understand how you miss pillars riding on the shell.
Yeah, pillars are very, very, very finicky. You definitely have to hit, like, there's a small little couple of squares that the activation happens on. And if you like ride over the corners of those, then it doesn't count.
That makes a lot of sense. Moose making SSL look effortless when even in 70 star, it is easily one of the hardest stages. And will be making his way into Lethal Lava Land. So at this point, Moose would have to make one, if not multiple, massive mistakes for LeySauce to take the lead. But we are still early in this race. A lot can happen. Still have about 45 stars left to get. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely a lot that can go wrong,
Very good
especially
lava boost.
especially once you hit Fire Sea and beyond. Basically, with him getting Lava Boost out of the way, he should be pretty much smooth sailing for the next 8 stars or so. But at the end of the day, anything can happen. It's no reset. So
And I do find it interesting that LeySauce saves the volcano stars for last when, in most runners' opinions, myself included, Lava Boost and Elevator are the hardest stars in this stage that most runners opt to go for first, Moose included. So
yeah,
just a rather curious side note.
it's definitely a weird one. I know that. Oh
Triple
goodness.
jump dive here. Oh, Moose is familiar with the backup. Very, very good backup there. Not losing too much time.
That was really clean. He's probably only lost like 4 seconds from that. That was really, really good. But yeah, it's definitely a weird situation, right? Because you need to have full health if you want to do Lava Boost. So
Right,
if you,
right.
let's say you mess up Bully or something like that and you have less health, then you basically, if you want to take Volcano as a backup, you're basically forfeiting that extra 6 to 8 seconds depending on what strat you do for Lava Boost. So it's definitely like a weird situation as to whether you want to use it as a backup or not.
Which I don't believe is the case for LeySauce. He just, for whatever reason, opts to do the Volcano Stars last. Oh, and getting a jump kick there instead of a jump dive. One
So
more
this,
booty burn will kill him. He will have to land these long jumps cleanly.
oh, he hits it. Yeah,
Which he does.
that's exactly the situation that you would be using the backup for,
Sure.
because just saying like, okay, you know what, I don't have to do lava boosts. I can just take the nice scenic route up, and I don't have to worry about messing up the double long jump. Can sometimes be really, really nice to do.
Sure, sure. Oh, and Moose, a little bit too low for that star spawn. Not a huge deal. Both runners bullying the bullies without any problems.
Yeah, at the moment, it looks like Moose has been cruising through the stage so far. He's been doing really, really well, making quick work of it.
I believe the only mistake he's made in this stage was that fatal triple jump on the elevator, but as you mentioned, very good backup, and you say he only lost about 4 seconds to that. I'm curious to know if he's on gold pace for this, not aware of his splits at all. Meanwhile, LeySauce getting a very clean lava boost. Lava boost
Yeah,
and star that can definitely cause Mario meltdowns, especially in races, so good to see both runners hitting it cleanly.
yeah. Honestly, it depends on the runner and depends on what strats you do, but I think Lava Boost is probably the, at least from in my opinion, the number 2 most scary star and nerve-wracking star behind Pillarless in a 70-star race.
For sure, for sure. Just very technical. I mean, there's a lot of different strats for lava boost, obviously, but yeah, both runners making it work out just fine. And I am curious to know if Moose golded that lethal lava land, because that was very clean.
Yeah, definitely hard to say. I don't know. From what it looks like, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he like cleared his splits or something to that effect. But I haven't seen the color of his splits change at all. So he might be running on empty splits or just no splits at all.
He's making his way into Dire Docks, and LeySauce grabbing Mips without any problem second time around. And in 70 star, Dire Docks seems like a very boring and menial stage. Oh, did Moose grab that first chest?
I believe he did, yeah.
Wow.
He cut it close, but it looked really, really good.
Angle. But all three of these stars, it is very easy to lose massive amounts of time on if you are not careful and carefully paying attention.
Exactly. Honestly, Dire Docks in general, with the exception of hundreds, is very much a either fire sea or upstairs waiting room.
For sure, for sure.
If you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, then you can drop a lot of time loss in your run.
Well, and especially at LeySauce's level, this is not a stage that's heavily practiced when you're close to sub 1 hour, and it's easier than you might think to not turn right on the final chest and get sucked in by the whirlpool and take an easy death. But it appears Moose is going to be back sub Barry. I cannot say I blame him. Oh, LeySauce almost getting sucked up by the whirlpool there. It's clear he's not practiced a backup. He's having difficulty hitting this fourth chest. Commentator's curse in full effect, losing massive amounts of time. Meanwhile, Moose breaking out the lag reduction strats on console with this sub. Perhaps the most laggiest heavy place in the game.
Definitely. Well, maybe, yeah, probably that. I think it's pretty close to being on par with the moles in TTM.
True.
You don't usually have to see them too much because you're usually hitting the movement to avoid them. But if ever you fall into the section with the 4 moles, you really feel it.
It's bad. Moose missing the first Manta Ring, backing it up just fine. And for those who do not know, the Manta Rings have a very, very weird hitbox. Another star that is easy to lose massive amounts of time on.
The first through 5 rings definitely play really, really nicely for the most part. You can even turn a little bit early on ring 5. Ring 6 isn't too bad, but you can't really turn early on. And then rings 7 through 8, or 7 through 9 even, are just awful hitboxes that don't match the visual at all.
At that point, it's just like almost good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just start swimming slaloms as if you're on the bunny slopes.
Meanwhile, Moose having a very good start to Fire C. Commentator not quite aware of which cycle he might be going for here.
It looks like he's going for fast cycle, but it's definitely interesting. He's doing the older, outdated movement to hit this.
And a ledge grab.
Yeah, definitely not going to be able to hit early Ellies here. He might still be able to hit fast cycle, though.
How much of a time loss is it between Lava Boost, early Ellies, and fast cycle that he just landed?
So it's about... So each normal cycle, each traditional platform cycle is about 18 seconds. So with what he did, I would say he's probably splitting the difference and getting something like a 9-second advantage over the slowest, or the normal cycle, losing about 8 seconds or so to the fast cycle.
Which, in a race format, I'm sure he's not complaining with his Fire C performance here.
Yeah, that's definitely very reasonable.
LeySauce struggling here in Fire C early, took a couple of booty burns. Not quite sure if he's even on pace for slow cycle, but we will find out momentarily.
I would guess he is. I mean, you have a full 18 seconds to work with. It's usually not the end of the world to make a couple mistakes in the beginning of that.
Yeah, Moose missing the Bowser throw, that'll cost him about 10 seconds, right?
Oh, that's rough. No, it's even worse than that because it's because of the animation that you have to deal with. So it might even be up to 15 or so that he's eaten.
And LeySauce, missing the side jump. That will cost him a full cycle. Fire C is no joke, ladies and gentlemen.
That is really rough.
And even though we do have him muted, you can see him cursing on the webcam. That is the last thing you want to see in Fire C. So both runners making some pretty sizable mistakes here in Fire C, but not quite going full meltdown mode. And Moose will be making his way upstairs as LeySauce grabs the star and will make his way into Bowser 2.
I do like that Mario Cam C-down setup that Moose is using to get that double jump. A lot of runners are starting to adopt that method, and it's really, really cool. You can see the entire stairwell when you're in there.
Sure. RNG not being too kind to him there on the... Is that a Scuttlebug? Spider? I'm not sure what the name of that.
They're called Skeeters.
Skeeters, that's right.
Yeah, Wet Dry World Hundreds is definitely one of those ones that can be very, very nice or very mean, depending on how Nintendo lays out your RNG.
Probably, commentator would guess, one of the more RNG-heavy stars in 70.
It very much is. It's probably the worst RNG star and 70 star in general. I know that even like at top level, some runners will opt not console, but I know that Aleph, for example, the VC world record holder, opts to skip out on Wet Dry World Hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, he takes he goes double plus and then takes THI reds instead, and it breaks about even.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, what Dry World Hundreds is one of these slower 100 coin stars in the run. It's definitely significantly slower than both Womps and TTC.
It is a bigger stage, so that definitely makes sense. It did appear that LeySauce missed at least one Bowser throw, maybe two, and Moose did have trouble triple jumping up to the second or highest level. So not the cleanest 100 coin, but definitely making it work. And it appears he is basically a full 100 coin here ahead of LeySauce, which at LeySauce's level, he's probably getting somewhere around a 90-second wet dry rolled 100 coin, I would guess.
Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely not an insurmountable lead, but it is a lead nonetheless.
For sure. And do you think we'll be seeing elevator clip Okami?
Oh God, no!
I'm kidding.
Wait, let me check the script. Is Tom Carr playing or no?
That's a 2030 strat. Oh, missing a wall jump or wall kick rather. Will he be able to beat the elevator? Probably not at this point.
Oh, he still is making it.
Makes it work. Okay, good backup. Good backup.
That's super surprising. I mean, that could have been a massive time loss that he would have incurred there.
For sure. He would have had to go back to the top and wait for the elevator again, but all things considered, he mitigated the damage very well.
He definitely did, yeah. It's definitely like a time loss, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Not even as bad as like, you know, a death on a quick star.
So I've never seen Moose run, but from what I can tell, he has the backups on lockdown. He's familiar with all the mistakes he's making and how to perfectly back them up, losing the least amount of time he possibly can, which is huge, especially in a race format.
It definitely looks like he's done his fair share of no resets, that's for sure.
And it appears LeySauce did finish 100 coin. Commentator's not paying too much attention, but I do not believe he made any major mistakes. Bonking on the cork box as Moose will be wrapping up Wet Dry World. It appears his splits are red, so I believe he's running against some sort of splits.
He definitely is, yeah. I would assume so. They weren't red for very long, so I'm guessing he can still technically pull this back if he wants to. Or not if he wants to, but if he plays well. But
what pace do you think he's on right now?
It's really hard to say. It's hard to say because I don't know what strats he goes for in late game. Like
True.
that's really the main variability in 70 star, because the stuff in early game is usually just it comes down to just execution. But the strats just heavily change in late game.
Oh, sliding down the top of Tiny Huge Island. He did have some very juicy lag reduction strats. For those who do not know, THI is a very lag-heavy stage on console. Missing
what is that camera?
Missing the ledge grab with that camera angle. I cannot say I've seen that before.
That is nutty.
I couldn't tell. Was he Mario Cam or Lakitu Cam there?
He went full Lakitu mode for that one.
Very unconventional camera setup, but making it work. LeySauce grabbing top of the town without a problem.
Doing this star without the camera as well. That's crazy.
Ooh. Yes, Mario Cam is definitely the preferred camera when you are traveling across that plank. Lakitu Cam does not quite cooperate, but Moose may be also known for some different camera angles. Commentator, not quite sure. As we say that, LeySauce wrapping up Wet Dry World will make his way into Tiny Huge Island, as Moose will be wrapping it up with some quick Piranha Plant extermination. Pretty easy star, but again, nothing is free in this game.
Yeah, it's very true. I've definitely seen, I won't say any names, but let's just say that there is one runner in this tournament who did have a 1 minute 10-second mistake on this star.
Commentator throwing shade to the commentator. Commentator has no problem with it. But no, in all seriousness, I'd never made that mistake before, and I did not know how to back it up, so I just decided to stage quit. I did not
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, that's the same mistake that was also made in another tournament as well, in the Ruby Field tournament. By, once again, another runner in this tournament.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes, and that actually cost him the match.
Oh.
Okay, we got some Liam Cam going on. This is 10-bit right
yes,
here.
this is bad. We're getting some gray screens. Hard to tell what's going on. I believe he's going for reds, maybe? It's hard to see.
He's playing Super Mario 64, I think. I can't tell for sure.
I see some mushrooms. I see some coin grabbing.
All right, cool. We're back.
As I mentioned, this is probably the second most lag heavy part area.
He's doing good lag reduction though.
For sure, saving seconds easily with the strats he was using.
Yeah, it looks like Moose has now completely quadrupled his bitrate. We're back up to 40.
LeySauce grabbing the secrets without an issue, probably going for the top of the mountain next. No, he's opting for piranhas. Interesting Star Wars choice. Will Moose get insta-clip? Not quite. A clip that is very, very precise. I'm sure Okami has more details into that. Landing a cheeky firstie.
Yeah, it's definitely a super precarious one. Insta-clip is really, really tricky, and even at high level, a lot of players don't go for it. But it can save like a good second or so if you hit it.
Right. But Moose getting a very clean scale of mountain. It doesn't really matter which one you go for first, but at least from top level players, I feel like players usually opt for the waterfall star first. So somewhat of an interesting choice here by Moose.
Yeah, it definitely depends on if the player does the menu glitch or not. Like if they hold left at the star select screen.
Sure.
Because if you don't hold left on the star select screen and you are on console and you get the top of the mountain, then you have the monkey star box, which causes lag.
I'm guessing that ledge grab was not intentional, but I cannot tell for sure.
I wasn't sure. I didn't look too closely. I think if you went for the side flip strat, then it might have been intentional, because that side flip strat actually doesn't lose any time over 2 wall kicks. It only loses time over a single. What are you doing?
Wow. Almost breezeless. Wow. I've never attempted breezeless. All I know is it saves 3 seconds, and it is stupidly precise.
It is very precise. It is a frame perfect trick, I would say. It's not a fun one to do.
Commentator, not sure if it's worth going for when your PB is a 51, but that's neither here nor there. LeySauce did fail his second mountain clip, going to be backing it up with reds. Not a huge deal.
I mean, it's also possible that Moose has an eye on the what do you call it, timers and whatnot, and the race. And so if that's the case, you might be going for some little extra swag. Yeah.
If that's the case, that's very understandable. He wraps up Tall Mountain with I think it was like a 36.55 maybe.
Yeah, so far looking pretty reasonable at the moment. It's definitely a decent race time at the very least. For
sure. Again, he hasn't made any major mistakes, just a few slip-ups here and there. Opting for deep freeze first. That's an interesting start choice.
And doing the double jump kick method as well. That one is, I think it's the fastest one if I remember right, but it's very, very precise and very tricky.
Is that in the 6 second range?
If you do it super properly, I think it can be sub 6.
Well, that's insane. Most runners opt to do Snowman's Head first, and then the Pawn Star. And Moose not quite getting the wall kick there.
Yeah, Snowman's Head is one of the most annoying strats to do in the game, I feel like. It's just such an obnoxious star. Tiny little edges, tiny little things to wall kick off of.
Most mistakes cost you at least 5 seconds.
Exactly, and sometimes even worse if you fall down.
Exactly, yeah. But he was able to back it up just fine, not losing in. LeySauce failing the long jump to the log. What's the backup here? Probably going for the Breeze Star would be my guess, and that is what it appears to be. Moose doing the pro strat for Freezing Pond. No, he's going for reds. Yes,
this is something that we talked about. Yeah, I believe we talked about this before the race started. Moose does not do TTC hundreds. He opts for SL reds. I definitely respect it, especially in a race in particular.
So what's a good stomp on the thwomp time done by itself?
When you're looking at a solo stomp on the thwomp, you should be trying to get a sub 30, ideally. Technically, anything under 35 seconds is very much fair game for 70 star, but if you're losing more than 35 seconds, then it's definitely not the worst thing to look at other stars like Toxic Maze, for example, to do.
Sure. And as I was being said, LeySauce did fail another log wall kick. He landed on just the wrong part of the log where he was not even able to try a wall kick, was completely denied. So perhaps a bit of Mario meltdown here in Tall Mountain.
Yeah, that log wall kick is definitely very finicky. It's got the weird property of this game where it treats, like, Mario thinks it's a ledge, but you can't actually ledge grab it, and so you hit this awful animation where you can't do anything out of it. Like, you can't dive, you can't ground pound, you can't do anything.
And Moose breaking out his Liam King's impression yet again, and not really pertinent to what happened, but for those who may want to know, that log is littered with invisible walls. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what kind of version we're playing on the game right now. Might not even be Nintendo 64. It looks like it could
might be on NES or Super NES. Kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, or it's like some cheap knockoff Nintendo 62 or something. Oh, LeySauce taking a big fall. What is that grind? 50-50. Tony Hawk coming out here.
Tony Hawk's to play here, ladies and gentlemen. But we are not playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. We are playing Super Mario 64. A little bit of a Mario meltdown here so both runners not getting a clean Snowman's Head. But as Okami mentioned, it is a very difficult star, very easy to lose time on.
Yeah, and especially in a race setting, like where tensions are a bit higher, it's just not the funnest star in the world.
For sure. And Moose not giving Toad a punch grab. You love to see it. The Toads in this game want nothing more than to give Mario a free easy star, but some players like to take out their unchecked aggression by giving Toads a punch. Not being the case for Moose. I would assume at his level he will be doing the triple jump off the box. Would be surprised if he didn't.
It's super hard to say. I mean, it looks like he's setting up for it. He's got Mario Cam C down, so it's very possible. Yeah.
He'll get first try.
Looking pretty nice.
Super clean.
Yeah, it looks good. What's up? It's good.
I looked a little low for the star grab, but he manages to get it. LeySauce giving Mario's booty a little bit of an inspection. Not quite sure why, but taking out the ice bully just fine. And I would assume Moose is going for Christmas Miracle next.
No, it looks like he's doing emergency exit, I think. Well, okay, I could be wrong. He's switching cameras. Never mind. Yeah.
Very clean triple jump wall kick. I'm guessing he has the right height for the switch. Yes, he does.
Yeah, and it's such a weird trick, like the way it works. I believe, if I understand it right, I think it comes down to like quarter steps or whatever it is, and so that triple jump being the highest possible height for the wall kick makes it so that Mario is on that switch on that fourth step.
Okay. And in the meantime, LeySauce did have a bit of a Mario meltdown there in the deep freeze. Star may have taken him close to a minute, so definitely not helping his case here. Moose with a very clean triple jump dive into the emergency exit. And at this point, it would take a colossal meltdown from Moose to give the lead back to LeySauce. But again, the race is not over. There still is Tippy. No matter what level you are at, Tippy can easily lose massive amounts of time and result in one or multiple deaths.
Very much so. I mean, the fact that he doesn't have to do TTC hundreds is definitely a blessing for him right now.
That is a weight off his shoulders for sure.
But you still have to get through all the Rainbow Ride stars. You still have to get through, even just entering the clock can sometimes be a challenge.
And it just takes one mistake to potentially snowball out of control, regardless of what level you're at.
Yeah, very much so. Steal your stride, especially. Like, just if you're on fire for Tippy, you're on fire. But if you mess up once, sometimes that can lead to a bunch of mistakes.
It gets in your head, and it just gets worse and worse.
Very much so, yeah.
But again, Moose not having any major mistakes. He is just cruising along this race.
Yeah. Now I think it's probably relatively safe to say what pace we're on at the moment. I think we're on roughly 53 pace or so.
Which I imagine at his level is probably very good in a racing. Ooh, trying to get the glitchy walk and begin the ledge grab. He will not be going for lag 2 bounce, opting for reds instead. How difficult is that glitchy wall kick?
It's definitely relatively precise. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's I don't know. It's definitely not Not necessarily worth it unless you're going for like super top level times. Also, losing a frame there by doing the dive into the red coin star. You actually save a frame by not doing any dives at all.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. A bit of a slow menu selection there from Moose. Not a huge deal.
Yeah, it's definitely awful there. Rainbow Ride.
Jumping a little bit too far and not quite getting the triple jump, ladies and gentlemen. Is this the start of a meltdown?
It's hard to say. That was a quick death. It's not. I mean, it's more so when you do like a death where you like all off of. I probably shouldn't say anything. I'm not getting
the side jump to the Lakitu bounce, ladies and gentlemen. This is just what we were talking about. Commentators coming into effect.
We are bewitching this racer. I feel awful for this.
It was bound to happen at some point, but what is his resolve and resiliency? Can he shake these mistakes off and finish the rest of the run?
Looking like a clean bounce this time so far.
Definitely the hardest star in Rainbow Ride 7 and 70 star, in my opinion. Whether you do Lakitu bounce or the noob strat where you wall kick up the maze.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the stars that I feel like has a case made for it to completely skip out on as a beginner. Something like Toxic Maze is much easier and safer, and gives you the chance to like actually make runs, make it through.
For sure.
Of course, Moose not at that level. Go for it.
Based on the star count, it would appear LeySauce is done with Hazy Maze Cave.
Yeah, definitely mounting his resistance. Well, no, I think he's got one more star because he does not do TTC 100s. Could be wrong. Oh, no, he does do TTC 100s.
He does do TTC 100, yeah.
I'm switching up my runners.
No, you're fine. And it appears Moose is not messing with menuing anymore. It appears he's just taking the frame loss with the saving. Cannot say I blame him at this point. A save and quit and Tippy is probably the... Oh, the angle not quite good on that long jump to the pendulum.
Yeah, that was definitely a very, very small curve to get the run off. I think if he had done a slightly wider turn, he would have gotten that angle.
But again, yeah. A quick star, I believe, around a 13 or 14 second with that strat, if I'm not mistaken. So a pretty quick death.
Yeah, exactly.
Making it work second time around.
Looking much cleaner that time. But yeah, I believe that Rainbow Ride, that one section with the saving, has a little extra lag compared to the normal parts of the castle.
Really? Oh, LeySauce missing the ledge grab off that long jump. We'll back it up. This will lose him somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. As Moose makes his way into TikTok clock. Most runners opt to do 100 coin first. I wonder if he'll be doing Stomp on the Thwomp by itself first. It does. Well, no.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Yep.
Commentator
not very familiar with seeing the star by its lonesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very smart because if you do take a big fall of some sort, a lot of times you'll fall somewhere near like pendulums or maybe even like get a hand or whatever it is. And so
there are backups.
Yeah, exactly. Backing up with one of those lower stars gives you the ability to do your strats again and not lose as much time.
It does seem rare to do that star by its lonesome at his level, but he makes it work. Very clean triple jump off the flippers.
Looking good. I'm surprised he made it through the pendulum there. That was...
It did look like it would eat his wall kick, but...
Yeah.
Grabbing the star just fine. LeySauce isn't Tippy, making that triple jump wall kick work. Pierce going for tricky triangles first. Hopefully the triangles will not prove to be too tricky for him.
Moose hitting it again. This man is going upwards. He is doing work.
And Moose rolling into the cage without any problems. So far, a very, very good TikTok clock from him.
So Ley has one more star before he has the ability to join Moose into the stage.
Did Moose grab Toad before entering TTC?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
He's got 3 stars. Well, let me think. Yeah, he's got 3 stars, and he's got three stars left, so he'll be at 69.
LeySauce missing the pro strat. for swinging in the breeze. Moose grabbing that hand just fine. And normally, the strat LeySauce did only loses about 4 or 5 seconds compared to the pro strat, if commentator is not mistaken.
Yeah, and definitely like losing it or using it as a backup loses a tiny bit more time, but it's not horrible. That's for sure.
He made a good mistake there, so to speak. It wasn't a death, and failing that side jump ledge grab, like you said, he was obviously able to back it up with the noob strat. Moose getting a cheeky little firsty on moving bars, saving him a little bit of time there.
Yeah, and with that, I believe Moose will have one more star left to do, and then he'll be able to take the lunch money from the Toad, and then
Just
head
has
on
reds, I believe. I wonder if he's on gold pace, because I have not seen any visible mistakes from him in this stage.
He's had a couple of little stutters here and there, but for the most part, it's been pretty reasonable. It's a nice ground pound.
Nice ground pound will save him a second or two there, falling to the ground. LeySauce not quite having the angle he wants for he's going for 100 coin. Based on the coin count, it appeared he did grab a backup red. Probably a smart move at his level. Does not lose very much time.
Yeah, it's kind of on the same route as you're already going anyways.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, Moose taking Toad's lunch money, making his way into bits.
Hey kid, give me your star. Yeah, no, especially coins 70 through 90 on TTC 100s can easily get away from you.
That box, RNG, can definitely treat you very badly. And commentator would assume Moose goes for moving left side, maybe even right side. We'll see.
Yeah, it's always hard to say. It depends on if he's got the race up or not.
His movement, little speed kick.
Yeah, his movement's been pretty good in bits. This is definitely looking like a practice bits for sure.
Is he on pace for Manimo? It looks like it.
Looking really nice. That was a really clean bits.
Making bits look effortless here. And he is on easy 52 pace here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and LeySauce taking the death in TTC. Jump diving a little bit too early and catching a wall.
Yeah, ironically, Ley is actually not on the worst pace of his life either.
No.
I mean, this is still a relatively reasonable race time that he's getting at the moment.
Ooh, cheeky firsty, but getting burned. What's the backup here? Is he doing reds? He's doing reds. Oh, and Moose just quite missing that last Bowser throw. But he's pretty much got it in the bag at this point. And there it is.
Yeah, that was a very, very clean tippy from him.
Very, very clean tippy for sure. A couple deaths in Rainbow Ride, but still landing a mid-52, which at his level, he probably cannot ask for much better in a race format.
52-34. That was really, really good by Moose.
Not even a minute off his PV. Meanwhile, LeySauce still has to finish up TikTok clock here with a few stars. Commentator not quite sure if he is looking at the other runner to see where he's at.
I know where he's at.
Commentator
I'm on gold pace. I want to finish this off. I've golded. You know what's sad? I've golded 3 times in this race.
That's still good.
I'm just disappointed.
Is this slow time? What star will he be getting here? Ooh, cheeky firsty. Probably rolling to the cage, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, looks like it.
Sure, Moose getting his vocal cords warmed up.
Getting ready for that post-race interview.
Prepping himself.
Grabbing pin in the pendulum is just fine. Commentator, not quite sure which star he has left. Moving bars, maybe?
One of the upper ones, since we used reds already as a backup.
Right. And it is moving bars, okay. Yeah. LeySauce's PB is a 57.06, so all things considered, I believe he would still be on sub 1 hour pace.
It depends on how good the bits is.
Right.
With not having to deal with Toad, I would say, in theory, like a sub 215 is very reasonable. But I don't know what the golds are.
Is your bits gold sub 2 hour? Or 2 minute, rather?
Well, I take Toad, so it's
okay.
208.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, so
all right, I'll take this gold. We'll call it.
let's go.
You might be on sub 1 hour pace, Brett.
I'm finished. It's over.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
GG.
Fuck it, why not? We'll do the interview while I'm here doing bits. All right.
For the people,
Okay.
Moose, how you feeling? How do you feel about that run?
And I love how the
That was a
audio
lot
cut
more
out like
intense
90%
than I
of the
thought
way
it
through.
would be. Holy shit.
Well,
There's
Moose,
a lot.
for your level, I imagine that
Yeah,
was
so we're done.
a very clean race. Not even a minute off your PB. Had a couple of slip-ups there in Rainbow Ride, but otherwise a very, very clean race from you. No huge mistakes.
Yeah, I was PB pace basically until Rainbow Ride.
Yeah, Rainbow Ride definitely looked a lot sketchier than the other stages. Just sketchier than the rest of the run entirely, but all in all,
Probably
that's
because I tried to do that one strat, and yeah.
Oh, the glitchy wall kick.
Also, I respect the guts for going for Island Hop. That was very, very respectful.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I never see people go for that one. It's
I had not
I get
seen
that more
Island Hop
often
strat
than the wall
until
kick.
tonight.
Really? That's cool. Have you...
Even though I don't actually go for that during runs though.
Okay.
That's fair, that's fair. Yeah, it's just a nice little swaggy thing to pull out once in a while.
Yeah.
Have you done anything in particular to prepare for this tournament, or, you know?
Oh, I've done so many no reset runs. Like, I got my PB after 6 no reset runs in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had the backups on lockdown too, like especially when you failed Lava Boost or the elevator star.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what you were doing. That was really impressive. And LeySauce, what happened there in Cool Cool Mountain when you failed the 100 coin star with the penguin race?
You know what's kind of sad is that if I hadn't fucked that up, I probably could have had a chance.
You lost so much time there.
I could have had a chance.
You did not know how to back that up.
Well, you were right. The first thing I did was go for the snowman star, and I didn't see the snowman, and I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. And you know what happened, like, last time, right? When I raced, I forget who it was. I raced someone, and I ended up not getting a safety red, or I got a safety red, and I had too many coins, and I blew it. This time I was like, I'm not going for a safety red. I'm confident in my play. And I missed the coins in the straight line at the end.
You got too greedy, man. You didn't want that difficult long jump, so you missed 2 coins instead of 1.
I didn't even mean to. I was just trying to go. So I missed that, and I was like, well, fuck beans, dude. So, and then I should have just gotten the 100 coin star instead of the penguin race star. And then by that point, it was a tie race, and I kept it close for a little while, and then I blew it a bunch of times. I mean...
I was so nervous throughout the whole thing, though.
There is a backstory between me and Moose. The first person I ever raced was Moose. I had a 1 hour, 15-minute PB when I first started doing this, and he had a 52-something, and he gave me a 20-minute head start, and he beat me, so it is kind of fitting that he ends up being the first person I race against in my own invitational, so... I can't be upset. It was a great time regardless. Like, I know, everyone probably saw me swearing and whatnot, but I had a good time no matter what.
I wish you could hear
and I'm still gonna be here regardless, so I can't wait to continue on for the rest of the tournament. So,
GG.
GG, Moose. You definitely have what it takes to win the whole thing.
Thanks.
Racers, thank you for the content. Okami, it was a pleasure being in the booth with you.
Yeah, definitely, King. That was great.
Check out LeySauce's chat. Give both of these streamers and runners a follow, even though we're already on LeySauce's channel. And yeah, we just had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, thank you guys for commentating. Great commentary. Very good. It was, you know how it was good? I wasn't a part of it. So, you did a great job. And unfortunately for the chat and everyone for the rest of the tournament, since I lost, that means I will be a part of every commentary team, going forward. So, but no, for real, guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. And I am officially on vacation for Monday through Sunday. So I am going to try my very best to go ahead and get every single first round race done here. So let's go ahead. I'm showing the bracket on screen for everyone right now. Let's go ahead, report this score. Moose is moving on, and he will play the eventual winner of Markinator versus Aussie Adam. It will be wonderful when we get there. But yes, vacation for the entire week. And we're going to get a bunch of races set up. Tomorrow, next week's going to be great. After that, it might get a little bit harder with me back at work. So,
is it safe to ask how the runners should be going about scheduling these?
I'm just going to contact everybody, and we'll work it out together. You know.
Cool.
Ultimately, I'm going to be around for the week now. Like when we get to after that week, that's when it might be a little tough. Just because I'll be back at work and I work nights. But we'll figure it out as time goes on. Regardless, Moose, congrats. You are now going to be, like I said, facing the winner of Markinator and Adam, and possibly even Okami eventually.
Oh, dude, I'm so anxious. Like,
I'm not going to say anything.
It would not surprise me if you two face each other in the semis. Best of luck to both of you in this invitational moving forward. You both definitely have what it takes to make it all the way.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. I'm gonna reach out to everybody, and hopefully we'll have a race by Monday. I will be letting everyone know as soon as I find out in my Discord there. Let's go ahead and shill myself a little bit. Everyone, please join in. All my tournament info is in there. And that is about it. So thank you so much, everyone in the booth. Have a great night. Moose, congrats again. And that's it.